Good morning. This is Judy from Artistic Artifacts, and we are located in Alexandria, Virginia. We have a retail store, which many of you have visited with the Mid-Atlantic Shop Hop. Thank you very much for coming. And we have a full, secure online shopping as well, artisticartifacts.com. So I know that those of you who are winning these, who are maybe not close enough to come hop into the store, will be able to use these gift certificates online. And I have to say, there's a lot of names in here. So again, thank you everybody for participating. It's really helpful for us. And we are going to draw 2 names. That's a good idea, Kyle. I didn't think of that.
For the bus.
For the bus, yes. So yes, there's lots. And of course, it's really hard to draw out of the vase. So we have lots of names in here. And it's easier to mix them up. Sorry, that's my back. I'm going to trim. So mix them up. So I hope if you are participating on the Shop Hop and you do Facebook, please, make some comments and some just suggestions. We were just talking about everybody who uses pre-printed labels with their name and their address and email and phone number. That's really, really helpful because, of course, the stores, you really do need all of that information. So that, I think, is the #1 tool for great shop hopping. All right. Do you think we mixed this up enough?
I think we're set.
Okay, Kyle. Pull one.
So we know I'm not cheating.
You're not cheating. All right. Kathy A. Hobbs, sorry, and Somerset, New Jersey. So Kathy, you are the winner of a $50 gift certificate to Artistic Artifacts. And because we have so many participants, we're going to draw an extra one. That's 2, Kyle.
Okay. Can't aim the camera while I'm not.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. So the next one is Ellen Hollows from Reedville, Virginia. So those are our 2 winners for this week's gift certificate to Artistic Artifacts. So you will be contacted by email. And as I said, that gift certificate is usable online and in the store. Yay. Congratulations. All right. So our Facebook Live today is focusing on some thread kits that we created. And as we have a little bit of an area towards the back of the store that we kind of are trying to make our hand stitching area. We have thread all over the store, so I won't kid you that it can't all fit in one place. But we have some drop cloth samplers. We have DIY embroidery doll kits, which we're so excited about. We've had for a long time some wonderful pre-cuts wool. So, and we have ribbons and we have trims and scissors and Sue Spargo product and all these little nifty embroidery stitching pockets. So and then we have Sashiko on this side. So summer seems to be travel. Hand stitching is something that's easily done in a car, on a plane, hanging out at the beach or the mountains, wherever you're going. So that's what we have. We also have a really wide variety of painter's threads. Those are hand-dyed threads from Germany, and they are in this area also. So that's what we're working on, is a little kind of hand stitching area. What we have as new products is that Wonderfill is our supplier for pearl cotton. So we've been wanting to do this for a while, and we actually got it to happen. Now, the standards kits that Wonderful does, and they have worked with different designers. So this is what we've had for a long time. They have 12 of the Eleganza size 8 balls. You either can get a package with variegated, or you can get a package with solids. So what we did is we took a couple of things in our store that really tends to be that we do hand stitching with. And we created a mixed box of 9. So within this, why I say it's mixed is we have variegated and we have solids in each of these 4 boxes. So that's a plus that you will find. We also went with 9 balls rather than the 12. And we chose them to go with specific things, or projects, I guess is really the right wording. The first kit is kind of a kit that is going to get you started. If you just need to make sure that you have the basic tools that travel, you're going to have this embroidery stitching by Christine Brown. You're going to have 6 spools of thread, Chenille Tulip needles, which are my favorite. We have a needle minder, and we have a needle threader. So these come in this kit, and this is the one kit that we kind of consider a starter, with the idea that if you want to go to, say you've not done any stitching at all and you want to try one of these drop cloth patterns, that you could purchase a pattern and then this starter kit, and you would have everything you would need to work on these patterns. So that is the idea of kind of our starter kit there. Then for years, I am a really big fan of these Fatique Panels, and they are from Indonesia. They're hand-drawn, painted, wax and dye batik panels from Indonesia. We have a wide selection of sizes, going from this size to large yard 36 by 36 sizes. So you can go to any range that you want. And Chris and I, both of us, and Liz, Kettle, do some hand stitching a lot of times when, for the many years, we were at markets and we were at places, so you had downtime, so to speak, where you could be stitching in between talking to customers and that. So it always was something that was a very portable job. My absolute favorite is Mahiyar. This is a piece that I did that actually hangs in my studio. I absolutely love it. And so what we did was we picked some threads that we thought would enhance this panel. It would enhance a Bam Bam panel, and it could work with anything, even if it's not a batik panel. So that's this kit, and this one is Batik Artist 2. And you can see these on the website that are very specific about the colors. And then this is a Bam Bam. This is a Jaka, which tends to be a little more in these colors. This one Chris did. So this is going to be Batik Artist number 1. So you can see I'm a backwards person here. So that works. And if you look at some of these other panels, I love this panel. It reminds me of the Statue of Liberty. It does. It's It's kind of cool, reminds me of that. This is a Jaka panel. This Batik Artist number 1 would work really well with that one. Chris posted the other day about my chickens that I did. You know, and if you looked at this one, it would work with a rainbow kit that we did. And then here's another Mahiar panel that was the same as the 2 women and the fish that would work this way as well. So those are an introduction to customized artistic artifacts stitching kits. And again, we just chose colors that we thought would work with various products that we have here in our little stitching area. So as I said, the drop cloth samplers have been very well accepted, and that people have really enjoyed. We have many people who bring them back and show us them. This is the one that Chris also did. And Chris is really great at showing you different ways of hanging her pieces. Sometimes she uses a panel, sometimes this is a quilt on a quilt. It's quite wonderful and creative ways of showing your artwork, because we want to stitch it and hang it up so we can look at it and enjoy it. You don't want to put it in a drawer. Any questions so far, Kyle?
No, just a lot of good mornings.
Oh.
We've got Ellen.
Okay.
Christina. Naya.
Isn't Naya in the Philippines?
Well, she wasn't at Jams, that's for sure.
Yes, I know.
Christine.
Yeah.
Ellen.
So those of you who are familiar with our hand stitching threads, we have spools of the Eleganza 8s that are, we call them Suspargo pearls, even though they're not just Suspargos, they're all of ours. And those have much more yardage. And I know the details are on the website, but just so you know, the packaging, that this is really a sampler and it gives you enough yardage to get through these projects, but the spools have more yardage than the balls have on them. So just so you know that little bit of a difference. The other thing that I know I use a lot is we've created these custom zip bags, and I actually am addicted to zip bags. And there's one more size, which I'm not sure. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I never can, I guess you should say I never, don't say never. Usually my stuff comes out of the package and I am throwing them into a bag so that then I can carry with me. So this little one would be where my needles might go, or my book, that'll all fit in there. And then this larger one allows me to maybe take my panel and fold my panel up and put it in here with my threads. So these bags you can purchase individually or in a package. The other thing that I recommend, and mine is not, I don't have a new one. I'm going to show you an old one. These are, they come in not bright neon orange anymore. So I'm sorry, just teasing you. These are really great. You have a little pair of scissors. This is magnetic. I know I've shown this to you before. I really believe everybody needs to have one. And it allows you to have your needles in here. So the small ones are available indigo. There's multiple colors that are really great. And I think I've had this for 10 years. So this snap and everything, it does get a little wonky, but it's very, because of the magnetic part of it, it is easy. And it's, again, a really good travel thing, because the magnet's going to catch your needles and that type of stuff. So I usually always travel with one of these as well.
We do have one question. What tulip needles do you use for the Eleganza 8?
So we recommend that you buy the mixed pack first. So in the mixed pack are size 18 to 24. So 24 is a smaller needle, 18 is a larger needle. So I would say the 8 is probably in a 20s, 20, 22. A size 3 pearl is definitely going to be an 18 needle. So long ago, I was taught by some friends that had done some hand stitching about stitching and tools. I remember a long time ago when I used to do crewel work when I was little, and it was about keeping the needle the smallest you could possibly get, and you could yank it through the fabric. You couldn't get the thread through it. That's all. We don't do that anymore. That's all wrong. So you need to have the right needle that you can thread. So it's not about the size of the hole being as small as possible, because if you have a small needle, you can't get the thread through the fabric, and you don't want to be pulling and creating holes in your fabric. So you want the appropriate needle to be correct. So if you can't thread it in 3 times, go to the next size up. If you have to pull hard through your fabric, get a needle up in size, meaning a larger needle. And of course the numbers and everybody's wisdom. So 24 is a small needle and an 18 is a large needle. So that's why I say buy the mixed pack first, so that you have a range to use any of your threads in there. You can use your sewing threads, which again, that was one of those things I'm like, I'm never doing that. Well, I have size 12 hand stitching threads now that work on my machine, and they work in hand stitching. So that you can do as well. So that's my kind of rant about threading, using the right tools. We always seem to think that smaller was better, but even if it, and the other thing is about stitching, Ruth taught me this, is that always stay on top. So you're going to stitch down and up, not go down, pull below your fabric and pull your thread and go up again. You want to go so that you are keeping your needle on the top of your fabric. That's another thing that's really great. So Ruth Chandler wrote Modern Hand Stitching. We do have a selection, Kyle, if you can show them. Christine Brown, Ruth Chandler, some new ones by a new artist. I have actually not had a chance to look at these. Freshly stitched modern embroidery. So Celeste Johnston. These are Better Day books. So these are new. This one is beautiful. We posted the inside of that one. So when everybody comes to look for embroidery books and hand stitching books, we start with Ruth Chandler's. That's the basic. It shows you all the stitches, and it shows you how to go beyond the stitches, which I think is important in having your hand stitching become personally yours, is how to change it, how to work, how to make that stitch just a little bit different. So we start everybody there. Sue Spargo has a wonderful book that my understanding is it's going through an update. So it's not available. It's the small green one. That one we have too. That's getting into a wide range of stitches that she uses with her kits and things. Christine Brown has has a hand stitching dictionary. She comes from, her background is a little more traditional, crazy quilting, but if you take those ideas and work it the way you want, they're really useful books to have. And then she has one that's beaded embroidery, which I'm pretty sure we have that one. Yeah. That's when you're ready to get into beads and add the beads to your hand stitching. So, and that's a natural thing. You just go from one to the next and keep adding stuff. So those are some of the current books that we do have. and they are available online as well in the store. And then if you, Kyle, can show them the selection of drop cloth. This is, I think, did you pan this earlier?
Not close-ups.
Okay. So these are a very popular kit and pattern, so to speak. And then we have some little kits that are from Capital Stitch Company. So that we have bought, kind of looking for things that were specific to Virginia for the shop hoppers. And then we have a wide selection of wool pieces that are great fun. Wool is very forgiving. And then, of course, you can add beads to it. So that's one of the kits. It all comes pre-cut. And then you make it, personalize it, and do some of your special things. We have some different needle minders also that we've added. And they are, I always end up pinning my needle to my clothes. So maybe this is nice so I don't have to do it. It's a magnet and it holds your needle for it. So there's a couple of those there. Another tool that I travel with is this yo-yo light. And it's let's see if we can do. So it travels like this, but it's a magnifier on the top. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring mine. Magnifier, it operates on a battery. And it helps really nice. Again, I carry it with me all the time so that I have that.
I think for the first year we had that, it was consistently out of stock.
Because I love it. I use it all the time. And then also these perfect scissors. We still have a couple of these funky Japanese scissors. These are actually scissors. And needles, so you need those. Be careful when you're traveling in the airlines with you have to read the regulations. TSA has all kinds of rules, and I can tell you that I have lost many scissors in other countries where they don't allow them at all. Not at all. Not little, not big, not long, not short, nothing.
Yeah, show them what they think are big scissors to the Italian TSA.
Those.
I think smaller than that too.
Yeah, so it just doesn't, if you're really desperate, get nail clippers, and the nail clippers will work as well. Let's see here. I have a couple more things to show you. I'm going to show you these again because I'm trying to work with some panels, but Chris, again, it does some absolutely incredible samples with us and is a very important part of the Artistic Artifacts team. So she took a panel and cut the fish out and put it on her rice bag and then hand stitched it. So she's queen of French knots, in case you didn't know. Stop moving it? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
All right. So we are working on kits. I have to double check and make sure the rice kits are up there. If not, they will be by the Wednesday newsletter. So this is Casey Stevens' rice bag. And then this one is, I forgot what this one's called. So this is again so this was a panel, a very small panel that had 2 fish. And so Chris cut out 1 fish for the rice bag and 1 fish for this bag. I cannot remember, but we have the pattern, so we'll put that in the link after.
I do have a really good suggestion in the comments. Dental floss case works on airplanes to cut threads.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have those. Well, most of us do, but all right, that'll work.
From Miss Ika-Chia.
Thank you. So those are, again, hand stitching and panels, also machine stitching, so it's a different way of using your threads, and Chris did a really great job. Fatique Panels really allow just a partnership between Indonesia and those artists that have created those, and then how we see and how we use them here. And they it's just very interesting to me, and I think it's really cool. So we're going to do a few more Facebook Lives about working with our Fatique panels. So, because I like them. This is one I wanted to show you that is using the Eleganza 8, but it's one of the wool pieces. So this is, the thing about it is all of this is pre-cut. The leaves are pre-cut, the flower is, the bird, and as you can see, the sample, I kind of did a little bit similar to that, but went off and using some vintage leaves. I tend to do leaves my way. These are all nice and bright, these flowers and the bird. So a little vintage trim. So I was like, okay, well, this is fun. I was kind of getting a little stagnant. So I thought, okay, you got to do something. And this one worked as well. So that's part of when we're talking about these wool kits. That's what this one is. And then those of you who know about the Wonderful block of the month, we do have one online class. So what we did is you bought the blocks for the wool. They're all pre-cut, and there's 12 of them. The second option to purchase is the thread kit, which came with cotton and the wool threads to use, and it's enough to do all of your blocks. The third option that we offered as Artistic Artifacts is to join us on a Zoom class that gives you some taking kind of the block of the month that Wonderful did and artistic artifactsing it. So you're showing some different ways. Again, it's all about making it your own, and some different stitches or different things that you can use to embellish these. So you still have the ability to sign up for that. We still have some kits left, some wool kits, some thread kits, and we have the first session has been recorded, and we can send that to you for the class. And the second session is at the end of August. I'm pretty sure it's the end of August. So what I wanted to show you was there's this one. Again, it's the wool. It's using the Eleganza. Here, Chris did and added some accessories. These two we talked about in the class that we held, and then the next session is going to be the next couple of them. So this is one using velvet and some trim here. And then this is the one I just finished, the toucan. And I have some old beaded pieces that I put in here. And this is really, really a fun effect. Stephanie told us how to do that on her live. And so that was really cool. So a lot of this thread goes in many, many different ways. And Chris and I definitely eat it up. We do a lot of different things with them and hope that you can use this yourself in your artwork. So I don't really have much else. I did skip announcements. Oh, and nobody stopped me about that. But I just talked about the block of the month. We are still very excited about our 990 presentation that happens on Monday, August 5th. There's still space in that event with a Bernina educator talking about the new Bernina 990 top of the line machine, which is pretty awesome. We have ours. And then classes, some classes have been rescheduled. We have some really great things coming up end of August and into September. Seth Apter's coming the end of September, and there are still spaces in his lecture on Friday night and his classes on Saturday and Sunday. So make it a weekend if you can. Seth is, if you have not taken classes with Seth before, he's really, really a great teacher and encourages your creativity. So
it's a personal favorite of mine, definitely a top 3.
Yes, with your mother being the first one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
All right. And does anybody have any questions for us today? We hope that you enjoyed the program this morning, and that it inspires you to try some hand stitching with some new threads if you haven't used the Eleganza. And that we hope that you have a creative day. Thank you for joining us.